Good afternoon. So this year I am going to open my garden to the public. So that's right, one day only. It is the 10th of May. There's a village open gardens. So a number of people in the village get together. We all open our gardens. There's usually about 20 different gardens that are open. All quite large, quite interesting to look around. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now obviously the garden itself needs some tidying up. By May the garden will be looking fantastic. But there is one thing that I need to sort out before then. So I thought, as it's a bit of a wet afternoon, I might as well give it a start, see how far I can get. And that is up in my woodland here, because I'm thinking, I've opened this gate up. There's no point in closing it off. I could just lock the gate and go, no public up there. But I'm thinking, no, if people want to wander up there, they can. But up in that holly line, there is a fence, and it has fallen down, and the top of that fence is barbed wire. So I'm thinking, I really do need to do something about that. So that's what I'm going to start today, is trying to find that fence. Right, so I'm going to start from this corner here. So as you can see, I've got this like three-way connection here. So the fence that goes up that way and up that way, it's not in too bad a condition, but they're both boundary fences, so nobody should be crossing those. So I'm not too worried about them. But it's this one here, this goes straight through the middle of my land, so I own either side of it. So I'm thinking this is one that somebody might end up trying to cross, and if it's buried, then that's going to be a problem. But the other thing that I found is quite interesting is as you work your way along, you can kind of see, especially on this section here, there's kind of like a flat section and then a steep drop off. So it's almost as though there's a walkway along here. So I'm thinking if I clear some of these branches, just work my way along and expose the fence, and then I can come back at a later date and replace the posts. So yeah, let's start cutting some branches. Right, well it's a few days later. I actually gave up the other day because it's just getting too cold and wet, and I've decided I'm going to change my tactics slightly. I'm going to cut this up into sections, and the first section I'm hoping to get level with that large oak tree, if you can just about make it out over there, which is just the other side of that holly there. But yeah, the main thing that stopped me the other day, not only was the rain, but also I came up against this rather large holly tree here in the middle of the path. So I'm not quite sure where the fence is. Obviously I've got the barbed wire here. The bottom of the fence I think might be about here. So that one might just be in line with the bottom of the fence. But yeah, the rest of it's certainly in the middle of the path, so it's going to have to go. So I'm going to give it a go. I've brought a winch up with me, and I'm hoping I can winch it out roots and all, because if you cut that off the ground level, you will never kill a holly. It will just grow back, and the roots will be nice and strong with very little on top. So I'm hoping if I can attach the winch to it, pull it out roots and all, that will kill it off and get rid of it. So yeah, let's give it a try. Well, that worked well. It certainly wasn't quick, but it was a lot easier than digging it out by hand, and I've got rid of the root entirely, so that's not going to be growing back. So that is excellent. So now I need to do, carry on cutting. Hooray, we're through, and we've actually got quite a nice tunnel bit going on here. Now, I was going to stop here because I am now level with the oak tree here, and technically that is a path going up there. The previous owner cut that path in so you can access higher into the woods. However, I'm looking at the ground here and I'm thinking that is incredibly steep. But just through there, there's a slightly flatter surface, goes off at a slight angle, and I'm thinking that will be a bit better. So just when I thought I was done cutting, I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to clear a little bit extra, and then I can go on to that section there, and then I can put a gate in. So from that section back, I can restore this fence line and not have to worry about it, and then I can start again on the next section in a separate video. So right, let's carry on cutting. Right, well there we go, all the way up to this section here. Now that looks like a much more gentle slope going up that way than it does going up that way. So yeah, I'm going to put the gate in here, so that means the fence needs to start from here, which means the next step is to find the fence. Now unfortunately it's 4 o'clock now and I'm just about to lose the light, so I'm going to pick this up tomorrow hopefully. Right, well it's the next day, I've got some tools, I've got some posts, and it's currently dry, so let's see if I can get this fence back up. Right, well that's the wire fence exposed all the way along. I've actually stopped here because the fence has gone very brittle and started to break. So I'm thinking if I just put the gate post there, I did want it here so the gap was there, but I'm thinking if I put it there, that's not a problem. And this tree here is going to be in the way, but the top of it is dying and I don't know why. So I'm thinking it'd probably be best to take that out anyway. So I can move the gap around, that's not a problem. So I'm thinking if I start again at the other end and work my way through doing a finishing pass. So this time I'm going to be taking out any more hollies that I need to take out. Things like that laurel that's still growing through the fence needs to come out. The branch that's across the path, that needs to come out. And I can start putting fence posts in. So yeah, hopefully one final pass and the fence will be back up. Oh, it was all going so well. Yeah, this isn't going well now. I'm having real problems with this section here. So that section should be relatively easy. This section has got so many trees growing through the fence line, it is insane. So not only have I taken a couple out, but you've got those two there, that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, they're all growing through the fence line. So they're all going to have to come out, because I could cut them down to ground level, but they're going to regrow from the roots, and I don't want that. I want to get rid of them completely. So yeah, they're going to have to come out. The winch isn't entirely working because my nuts aren't good enough and they keep slipping, and climbing up and down is wearing me out. That, and it has just started raining, and the weather forecast said when it starts raining today, it's not going to stop. So I'm thinking, I've had enough for today. I'm going to leave it here, and I'll pick it up another day. So see you in a bit. Right, well, it's the next day, and winching the trees out still wasn't going right, so I didn't bother recording it, but I've managed to get the trees out. I've managed to get clear access all the way along now. So in theory, all I need to do is get this fence up. So right, let's see if I can get this fence back in position. Right, well that's the final post in, and I've put a diagonal on it as well just to make sure it's nice and strong and it won't pull over with the wire on it. But yeah, I know I'm only about halfway along here, but I'm going to call this section done. Now the main objectives I had here was 1, to remove the barbed wire, which I've done, and 2, to get the fence line up and exposed so you're not going to trip over it, which I've done. But the added benefit of doing this is I've exposed this long forgotten walkway, which I think this is just absolutely fantastic along here. Because of this steep drop off, you actually get some fantastic views across here. Obviously I've still got some hollies that I want to thin out, which I'll be doing in the future, but for now this is so much safer, which is what I was aiming for. Now obviously because of the open gardens on the 10th of May I am going to be continuing with this, so I do want to get the rest of this exposed. I say I'm halfway, I might be less than halfway actually. I have no idea what's going on through there. As you can see, it is just a mess of holly at the moment, so that's going to be a lot of work, but I'm sure that will come up in a future video, so make sure you're subscribed. I hope you left a like, and I shall see you later.